What are you scared of? I mean, I haven't let you down, have I? You don't think I would let anything happen to you or anything go wrong, do you? This mission is gonna change things forever.
Stargate sequence configuration start. Launch start in T-minus 5 seconds.
My own estimation, there were thousands of people that were lost in these experimentations. Sometimes they would send them back in time or future into time, and they never came back. The one Stargate that I used looked like a mirror. And I remember being flat on my back on, I guess it was some kind of table or slab, and then the next thing I knew, I almost like became part of it. I just was in it.
This mission is gonna change things forever. Forget the streets. Your streets are gonna be paved with gold. Everything's waiting. After we do
For the next 1,000 years, setting out for the great unknown.
As you may know from other research, the human body has its own biorhythms. So does the planet Earth. The planet Earth has a whole series of biorhythms, but it has 4 principal ones. Those patterns of 4 overlapping biorhythms peak out and create a very strange electronic synchronization pattern, which the aliens knew all about, but we knew nothing about at that time. Long-distance wormhole operations. They helped us to understand that. It says, you know about time travel, but you don't know how to build a system which will combine time travel and space travel. It says, we can do that for you. Well, the government was elated. They said, happily, yes, sure, fine.
Every point in time and space has a unique set of coordinates vibration. And so when you know the target zone of where you want to go, and there is that reference of vibrational energy, and then you take what you want to send and you match it identically to the rate of vibration of the target, there's instant connection. So we would get the coordinates, we would get the frequency rate of vibration of that particular zone of space. And then by thinking about it, the psychic on the chair would tap in mentally to that vibration, and he would create the energy connection between his point A and point B, the target zone.
Stargate sequence configuration start. Biorhythm coordinates 314. Europa.
And that's how civilizations are able to go through billions of light years in space and time instantly.
After years of brutal experimentation, Stuart Swerdlow claims to have been recruited for several missions to travel back in time, where he extracted DNA samples for the purpose of cloning historical as well as biblical figures. With technology given by extraterrestrials, time as well as interstellar and interdimensional travel was possible. Alfred Bielek claimed to have traveled to the planet Mars on several occasions, where he witnessed ancient structures and artifacts from a previous civilization.
Basically, the government would take alien technology, they would be taught how to use it, and then they would re-engineer it to other things. And the aliens knew about these things, and I think sometimes they purposely kind of gave us a rope to hang ourselves, and sometimes they were curious to see what we would develop with it.
They, convince the government to do what they want by saying, we'll give you great technologies, which they have.
Now, I have to say that when this technology was given, many coordinates were provided with it. But if we wanted to go someplace that the alien civilization didn't tell us about, we had to find those coordinates. And so it was experimental. We knew basically what the frequency was in that zone of space, but we didn't know the specifics. For whatever reason, the honing device that would connect them didn't work. Or sometimes it broke in the transmission. Sometimes we didn't know what happened. And so they were lost.
Some of these children, other children being lost in these experiments. How did you feel when you saw them go away and not come back? I mean, were you afraid that this was going to happen to you?
I never developed emotional connection to anybody there. So I saw so many people come and go. It was like, you see the grass in the summertime and then it's covered up in snow in the winter and then there's new grass. It's like, didn't make a difference. They were there and they weren't there. And so I know that sounds harsh, but that's the way it was, and you have to have an experience to understand that.
What would you say to the people who say, well, all these children were kidnapped and murdered and you were a part of it? What would you tell them if they said, well, they're trying to say, well, you were part of this, you approved of this? What would you
I
tell
did approve of it. There was nothing I could do about it.
dispose of the bodies? Would there be a crematorium in Montauk? How were the children disposed of? The ones that were killed, how would they dispose of the bodies?
Truthfully, I have no idea. I never witnessed how they disposed of the bodies. I was told several different things. One, that they were burned. One, that they were put in a room and lime was thrown over them to decompose them. I was also told they were dumped in the ocean or weighted down. All kinds of different stories. So truthfully, I don't know how they disposed of the bodies, but they did dispose of them.
Scared? You? Come on, man, you're the bravest kid I know. You think I would let anything go wrong? That I would let anything hurt you? I wouldn't let anything hurt you in any way. You've made it, kid. Everything is waiting for you after this. Everything will be coming your way. No more fear. I've been keeping it a big surprise. This one is serious. And we have you set for life. Do you understand that? Set for the rest of your life.
I was told that over the 13 years of the project, there were as many as 300,000 that were used in the experimentation. Of that amount, I was told less than 1% survived, and of that less than 1%, very few were able to function in society.
How many do you think in that period of time, let's say between, what was it, 1971, roughly?
72,
72 to
maybe
83.
80.
So how many do you think, approximately?
Probably at Montauk itself, at least 10,000.
Between a minimum figure of 10,000 and a possible maximum figure of 100,000. Because Long Island was not the only point where they were brainwashing these kids and setting up the Montauk Boys programs. Eventually they wound up in every major city in the U.S.
That's actually a small number. Do you know that in this day and age, that there are over 5 million people a year that vanish off the face of the earth without a trace? So 300,000 over the course of 13 years is quite insignificant.
Let's put it this way. If you're sitting there with 20 guns pointed at you, what are you going to do? Whatever the hell they want! First of all, I have the self-preservation instinct, like every one of us has. And getting shot hurts. I can tell you that from personal experience. And I don't want to be hurt. If you're going to kill me, okay, kill me, you son of a bitch. I bore fear being hurt and laying in a hospital for years in pain.
So, in other words, you were forced to do this. This was against your will.
Initially, it wasn't. But I really had no way out of it.
The final moments of the Camp Hero experiments, according to its reluctant members, were rooted in the defiance of a mysterious program director, Mr. Jack Pruitt.
I had very little to do with Jack Pruitt. I guess the closest was at the end when he pulled a gun on me and told me to go cut apart the transmitter to shut it down. He was a lieutenant, the first lieutenant that was listed on all the paperwork as being in charge of the Montauk Air Force Station.
Preston Nichols and several surviving members claim to have met here, at the Memory Motel, to devise a plan that would inadvertently end the project for good.
Now, the original focus was to generate a field that would control the way the general population would think and act. That's what they wanted. They wanted mind control into the mass population. So we all decided the project was going in a very bad direction and we wanted to crash it.
That's when you just realized this thing has got to be shut down and destroyed no matter how we do it. It's got to be stopped, or everything's out of control. As he realized the consequences of this expanding to another level.
Initialize sequence start. Generate sequence level 14.
You sure you're okay with this? I'm gonna get started.
Begin sequence level 14 in T minus 5 seconds.